God's Word Express.
How do you really truly get to know someone? You find out their name, maybe what people say about them, what they do, but what about understanding, well, the ultimate being God? That can feel impossible, right? Like trying to grasp infinity. Yet, there's this ancient wisdom that offers a path. So today we're doing a deep dive into some sacred texts that really unpack God's nature and, surprisingly, reveal things about you too. Our mission here is simple. Cut through maybe some preconceived ideas you might have. We want to give you a clearer, maybe more profound grasp of who God is. And maybe this is a really surprising part, who you are in relation to Him. We're hoping for a few aha moments, ones that shift perspective. Our insights are coming from a pretty deep exploration of sermon transcripts from New Wine International Church. They offer a unique take on some foundational Christian beliefs. Okay, let's jump in.
It's interesting, when we introduce ourselves, we often use our main roles, don't we? Like, I'm a professor or I'm a doctor.
Yeah, it's shorthand for our identity.
Exactly. Our main thing, our contribution. But imagine trying to introduce God himself. That's a whole different level.
And it's exactly what Moses faced, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Exodus 3. He's supposed to lead the Israelites. And he asks God, basically, okay, when they ask me who sent you, what's his name? What am I supposed to say? What God says next is just foundational.
Oh, absolutely. God's answer was completely unique. He says, I am what I am. And then he tells Moses, tell him, I am has sent me to you. This name, YHWH, sometimes pronounced Yahweh or Jehovah, it's used like over 6,800 times in the Old Hebrew Scriptures.
Okay, wait. Why that answer? Not a title, not the creator or the powerful one, but just I am.
That's the key, isn't it? It signals that God can't really be described fully by anything in our world because he's completely incomparable, utterly unique.
So beyond our labels.
Totally. He's self-existent. He defines himself by just being. It's not I am what you think I am or even I am what I do. It's simply I am what I am.
Huh. Self-defined.
Exactly. It points to this complete self-sufficiency that's beyond our human understanding. And that's why the Jewish scribes treated the name YHWH with such incredible reverence.
You mentioned they'd bathe before writing it.
Yeah, and often they'd substitute it with Adonai, which means Lord or Master, just out of deep respect.
That difference, I am what I am, versus I am what you think, that feels really important. How does getting that wrong affect how we see God?
Oh, it's critical. Because we naturally project our own experiences, right? If you had, say, an absent father or maybe a really strict, unloving parent figure.
You might unconsciously put that onto God.
Exactly. You might think he's like that, but God says, no, I am what I am. He's not defined or limited by our flawed human examples. And the source material also points out something interesting about Israel.
Oh, yeah.
God chose them as his unique nation, separate from others who were, according to Daniel, assigned to angelic princes.
Like the Prince of Persia?
Right. The idea being Israel had a special, more intimate understanding of his true nature because they were his chosen people. It underscores the need for an accurate understanding.
Okay, so that I am is the foundation. But God also revealed himself through other names, didn't he? You mentioned it's like how a nickname like Tank for a fighter tells you something specific.
Precisely. These other names are like windows opening onto different facets of his character. They show us how he is. Let's look at a few. First, El Shaddai.
Often translated God Almighty.
Right, or all-sufficient one. It emphasizes God as supreme, all-powerful, and completely self-sufficient. The term El itself was often used for the highest god in the region, like in Canaan.
And you see this power in action, like with Abraham.
Yeah, definitely. Genesis 17, God shows up to Abraham, who's 99 years old.
99.
And promises him a child. Talk about power over natural limit.
Or the Red Sea parting. I read somewhere the calculations suggest those water walls were unbelievably high.
Yes, like stacking huge skyscrapers. It just shows his power is, well, limitless.
So if he's all sufficient, what does that mean for us when we feel insufficient?
It means his sufficiency is exactly what we can lean on. Our lack is where his power can shine. Then there's El Olam.
God everlasting.
Yes. This points to his eternal nature. He exists outside of time, before it, during it, after it. He just is, eternally. Abraham worshipped him as El Olam back in Genesis 21.
Wow, that's mind-bending. A being not bound by time. How does that eternal aspect connect with his involvement in our time, like with the next name, Yahweh Yireh?
Ah, the Lord will provide. That's a beautiful one. It shows God not just seeing our needs, but actively preparing and providing for his people.
It's not just seeing, but doing something about it.
Exactly. It's a detailed, specific provision. Genesis 22, Abraham names a place that to signify this very thing after God provided the ram. The idea is he knows everything, your deepest desires, your bank account balance. He counts the hairs on your head. It's incredibly personal.
That's comforting. And then Yahweh Rapha, the Lord who heals.
Yes. This reveals God's nature as the ultimate healer, someone eager to restore health. Ancient cultures had their healing gods, like Asclepius in Greece.
With the snake on the staff.
That's the one. But Exodus 15 shows our God declaring, I am the Lord who heals you. Though it's interesting, it's presented there with conditions, listening to his voice, doing right, obeying commands.
So there's a relational aspect to the healing.
Very much so. And of course, this desire to heal was just so powerfully evident in Jesus' ministry later on. It's about wholeness, body, soul, spirit.
That desire for wholeness feels connected to the next one, Yahweh Shalom, the Lord is peace. But this isn't just about being quiet, is it?
Not at all. Shalom is such a rich word. It's not just absence of conflict.
It's like when people say shalom as a greeting.
Exactly. It carries a wish for complete well-being, harmony, wholeness, reconciliation. So Yahweh Shalom means God is the source of true peace, the one who brings reconciliation, even between enemies. Gideon built an altar called that in Judges 6.
Reconciliation, wholeness, powerful.
Oh.
Okay, and the last one you mentioned from the Old Testament, Yahweh Tzidkenu.
The Lord our righteousness. This highlights God's inherent justice, his virtue, his moral perfection. He's completely righteous and unchanging. There's that phrase, not a shifting shadow. His character is absolutely consistent, impartial. Jeremiah 23 refers to God this way.
So these names together, they paint a picture.
A much clearer one, yes. They show us how God actually is, moving beyond just what we might guess or assume. Unchangeable, loving, powerful, just, providing healing.
It's an incredible picture from the Old Testament names. How does this understanding, this character, carry forward into the New Testament, particularly with Jesus?
Well, it flows directly into him. His very name, Jesus, Yeshua, in Hebrew means Yahweh saves or God saves.
Right. Matthew 1.21 says he came to save people from their sin.
Exactly. His whole life was about embodying that saving nature, supporting the weak, lifting the downcast, delivering people from sin, from bondage.
The sermon you drew from had that striking story, didn't it? Someone in deep spiritual distress.
Yes, experiencing severe torment. And just the presence of Jesus, calling on his name, brought immediate dramatic healing and deliverance.
That's a very direct example of Yahweh saves.
It really is. And then there's that other name given to Jesus, Emmanuel.
God with us.
Matthew 1.23. It reveals this profound aspect of God's character, his desire to be near, intimate, present. Especially, it says, with those who have broken hearts or crushed spirits. He doesn't stay distant.
Okay, so we've looked at God's own declaration, I am, and these revealing names. But now the part that really turns the mirror back on us, this idea of resemblance, like how kids look like their parents. My sons have my nose, apparently, and my brother and I used to get mistaken for each other all the time. There's that visible link.
That's a great analogy for how we relate to God, but there's a key difference in how it came about. Think about the creation order. God made angels first beings like Lucifer, originally a light bearer, beautiful, before pride caused his fall.
And angels, like cherubim, they have wings.
Right. But humans, created differently, were formed from humus, the dust, the earth. It's right there in the word human.
A humble beginning.
Very. A reminder that our real power, our worth, isn't intrinsic to the stuff we're made of, but comes from the one who made us.
That's a powerful point. Our worth isn't in the dust, but in the maker. Which leads to this huge idea in Genesis 1.27. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. That word image, selim in Hebrew.
Selim, yes. It's a fascinating word with a couple of layers. First, it can mean literally an image or a shadow, like a replica, a representation that mirrors the original shape. The root word, salal, can even mean like a deep, dark shadow, suggesting something quite precise, an exact copy.
So we're meant to be like a precise shadow of God, a living replica.
That's one core meaning, yes. A second layer is that Selem can mean a reflection of truth. Not the full reality itself, but something holding the essential structure, the characteristics of the original. Interestingly, the word was also used for idols, statues made to look like gods. Exodus 20 warns against making them.
Okay, so it means a likeness, a representation.
Right. And sometimes, contextually, it could even hint at emptiness, like in Psalm 39, where it says, man walks about like a shadow, Selim, meaning like a phantom, perhaps. But the main thrust in Genesis 1.27 seems clear. We are created as a deliberate shadow, a precise replica, a living image of God.
But hold on, if God is spirit, like John 4 says, not physical, how can we as physical beings be his Selim, his image?
That's a great question, and it brings us to what theologians call the anthropomorphism of God. It means that while God is spirit, the Bible often uses human-like terms and features to help us relate to him, to understand his personhood. It describes God using the language of, well, body parts or organs.
Really? Like
Or,
what does that tell us?
well, the scriptures mention God having hands. Isaiah 41 speaks of his righteous right hand upholding us.
Signifying his strength and support.
Exactly. And fingers, mentioned in Exodus and Luke, pointing to his detailed work, his power and action, like the magician saying, this is the finger of God. He has eyes. 2 Chronicles and Psalms say his eyes roam the earth, watching over the righteous. It speaks of his awareness, his constant attention, his care.
Wow. Knowing his eyes are watching,
Yeah,
that changes things.
it does. And ears. Isaiah 59 and 1 Peter 3 say his ears are not too dull to hear. They are attentive to our prayers.
So he is listening.
Attentively. He has a face. Number 6 talks about his face shining upon us. Psalm 27 about seeking his face. It suggests his presence, his favor, his grace turned towards us. He has a mouth, as Deuteronomy and Matthew mention, from which his life-giving words proceed, his creative power, his authority, and even feet. Isaiah 66 calls the earth his footstool. Psalm 18 describes him descending with darkness under his feet. It shows his majesty, his dominion.
It's striking that God is described with all these features: hands, eyes, ears, face, mouth, feet. And then we, humans, are created with hands, eyes, ears, faces, mouths, feet.
Precisely. And notice we are not created in the image of angels.
Right, you said angels like cherubim have wings. We don't.
And significantly, the Bible never ever describes God as having wings.
Huh. I never thought of that.
It strongly suggests that our human form, these features, are specifically modeled after God's own spiritual form or personhood, as described anthropomorphically. We are his unique image, not an angelic one.
This changes everything about self-worth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It means you listening right now, you are not worthless, not insignificant. You are, in essence, a precise copy, a living shadow, a replica of God himself, with eyes reflecting his awareness, a mouth capable of speaking life like his, ears designed to hear, hands to act, feet to walk in his ways, all mirroring his being. Think about the respect given to a statue made in the likeness of a great king. You, as God's living Selim, possess this incredible inherent value just by being his image.
It absolutely reframes your value from a human perspective to a divine one.
So let's recap. We journeyed from God's mysterious self-defining name, I Am, explored his amazing character through those Old Testament titles, and now landed on this profound truth. Your very being is a reflection of him. So here's the final thought to chew on. If you are truly created as a precise Selim, a living, breathing image that is God, the mighty, loving, providing, healing, just, ever-present one, what new potential does that unlock in your life right now? What does it actually look like to live each day, not just as you, but as a true reflection of the